Hello and welcome to the behind the scenes video for the saw traps of season 6. In this video you will see the process of making these 5 traps and a few tricks I had to do in order to make them possible. These were shot in the order you will see them, not counting the original traps in between. So without further ado, let's begin with the brazen pig, or as some people like to call it, the brazen bull. But because this is saw, we're gonna go with pig. And the device is shaped like a pig, so it makes more sense. Making the oven was a bit complicated, especially making the sides slide down inside the bottom part. I think I had to redo them like once or twice. I debated a lot on whether or not to do this trap because of its unfairness and ridiculous rocket ship-like buildup. Seriously, when I first saw the scene I thought the oven was gonna shoot into space or something. But anyway, I enjoyed making this trap because it includes fire, and working with fire has its challenges. This was a tall set, so when doing the items like the ventilation pipes, I like to make them as tall as the set so I can get a better shot. This was the first time I used my old cell phone for the TV. I just had to edit the video and play it. It really saved me a lot of time with editing, and I like how it looks. The way I made this happen was by filling 4 spray can caps with tiki torch fuel. Then, when the time came to light them up, I took the set outside and shot the fire scene outdoors to prevent a fire inside the house. For the close-ups of Joyce, I used a candle for the fire light effect. The very difficult part about shooting a video with fire is that you only have one take to get the footage you need. So once the trap was on fire, I had to shoot different angles fast before it got way out of control. After that, there was almost nothing left of the oven. So yeah, but overall this was a fun trap to do, and after the mess, all that's left to do is clean up and feel proud for adding another trap to the list. When I first saw this trap in trailers and pictures, it really got my attention. I thought it was gonna be something almost completely different from what it really was. But I love that it's different from all previous traps and the simplicity of the display. I love making windows on my sets, so this was a fun one to do. And once the lights are in place, it looks even better. And after the set is complete, I move on to the clay characters, which in this case for the movie traps I have to look at pictures of the actors to get the right look. For the monitors in front of the glass, I had to edit a video with the take-em signs and picture slideshow. Then I posted the video on YouTube in private so only I could see it. Then I took my old phone and placed it inside the counter thing. The video is still on my channel, so if you ever want to see it, just let me know. Now, as some of you know, some of my very first traps were from Saw 5. So as seasons went by, I was getting closer and closer to the blade table. I was a little worried because I didn't know how I was gonna pull this one off, but I think it worked out well enough. To make this saw, I used a thick sheet of aluminum. First I cut the circles, and then with a pair of scissors all I had to do was make small cuts around the edges, and it gives the illusion of a real saw, hiding the pointy parts. When doing stuff like these saws, which I have to rotate, I always leave a bit of extra dowel sticking out of the device. So I always make sure I leave it on the side where the camera won't show it. This allows me to turn the saws much easier. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but I wanted to make a special game with the sewer traps from Saw 5 and have all players survive till the end, just so we could see a different outcome of the traps, especially this one. I always envisioned all 5 working together on the play table. I always have to destroy the sets in order to make new ones, but I do keep the trap devices, and this is a special one that I might use someday again. For the close-ups of Malik's hand, I made a big clay hand and a bigger version of the saw, in order to give it a more realistic look with actual clay fingers. Cause as you know, these clay characters are born with no fingers. And as I came to do the last trap from Saw 5, I also did the last one from Saw 3. With this one I couldn't use all cardboard because it was gonna get too wet and eventually collapse. So instead I grabbed a plastic container and covered the outside with thin cardboard. When I started doing claymation videos, I used to make the sets a lot smaller and clay characters too. Then I kept doing them bigger and bigger, which is even better because you can add more details to them and it makes it a lot easier to shoot the video. I think the biggest set I've done was for the meat grinder in the season 5 finale. I wasn't quite sure how I was gonna make the pigs, so I started going back to my childhood and remembered this old flour recipe me and my sister saw on a TV show with a lady who teaches kids how to make crafts with flour and salt. So I just started mixing away and tried my best to make the pig shapes. Then I threw them in the oven, and after a while I got freshly baked pigs in a blanket. Just kidding. I wasn't entirely satisfied with the way they looked, but I thought, well, they're supposed to be rotten pigs, so I guess it's okay. Once again, for the fire shots of Jeff burning his son's possessions, I took the stuff I needed outside and shot the footage there. For the guts, I mixed milk with chocolate Nesquik and small pieces of tissue paper. But because it took me like 3 days to shoot this, the milk started going bad, so it started to stink pretty bad. See, that's the thing about these traps. Sometimes they get too real. Sometimes I get hurt, burned, and in this case I felt like I was actually smelling rotten pigs. Now the final remaining trap from the movie that started it all for my Saw claymations, Saw 4. I was saving this one for last because again, I love the simplicity of it, and it was John's first trap that we know of. So once again I used the aluminum sheet to make various knives, and at the end I picked the best ones, or the ones that matched the most, to place them on the device. I thought I had more footage for this one, but I guess because it's mostly John talking to Cecil, I didn't have much to show. Anyway, that is all for this behind the scenes video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're asking yourself if I'm ever gonna do the bathroom trap, I have no answer for you right now. My plan was to make season 7 all about the bathroom trap and nothing else, and then just continue with season 8. But at this point, season 6 could be the last season I make. so who knows? Nothing is for sure right now. I want to thank you for watching my videos and supporting what I do. I'll see you again in the behind the scenes video for the original traps from the story of Nathan Ragazzi. And as a special treat, I'm going to reveal to you now the name of the final trap from Season 6.